Welcome to the first insult to injury penalty compilation. I know generally when I do compilation videos it's direct footage, but well, just think of this as like America's Funniest Home Videos or something that has a host to make everything more enjoyable. But well, insult to injury penalties are about the most unenjoyable thing that Gran Turismo Sport offers. And guess what, folks? The actual official FIA events are going to be starting pretty cotton picking soon. And yet, this is still in the game. So I figured I would do a compilation for one track and one track only right now, just to show that it's happening. And if y'all enjoy this, I'll do it some more. So let's get right into it, folks. The clips that I will be showing will be varying in severity from not all that big of a deal to downright game breaking, but honestly, they all shouldn't be in there. So let's start this one off, folks. I go into this turn not all that good. I hit the bottom a little bit, so I get loose, which automatically loses me speed there because I'm not stable off the corner. And I barely tap that wall. And it's penalty. This one's the lowest on the list because, in theory, in that section, you can wall ride and maybe gain speed. Now, granted, if you just barely tap a wall for a little bit, you're not going to gain speed, and that's what happened there. Plus, I was loose anyway, so by default, I wouldn't have gained speed no matter the circumstance because I wasn't stable off the turn. But still, it's a penalty. This is far from the worst one on the list, though, so let's move on. Next turn, the final turn, again, wall riding could be a possibility through here, so it's kind of the same as the first section. Except the first clip I had time to delete the penalty, and this one I don't. Pretty much the same circumstances with a different part of the track. Just barely nudging a wall shouldn't really be a penalty. Maybe wall riding should, just barely nudging should not. There's no way you gain speed doing that on this track, but yet it's a penalty, and this particular penalty I quite literally have no time to delete whatsoever, so the lap is invalid, and I have no control over that whatsoever. Next one, first turn again, and now I hit the wall, spinning out, going backwards. If you think I couldn't gain speed through the first clip that I saw, well, you're correct. But this one you don't even have to think about it, because it's obvious. Spinning out, you don't gain speed in any circumstance. And not to mention, in the first clip I showed, I hit the wall with the front of my car. Now I hit the wall with the rear of my car. But yet, either way, it's still a penalty. I lose even more speed here, and I hit the wall with a different part of my car, and it's still a penalty. You would think PD could realize if the rear of your car hits that wall before the front of your car, that means that you're spinning out, therefore again cannot gain speed, so it shouldn't be a penalty. That makes double the sense there to not give a penalty. You're not gaining speed anyway, and it's a different part of your car. But now, I completely avoid that wall all the way, to the point of really about the only way you do avoid that wall in the majority of circumstances is your car is so loose you're barely in control. So then I spin out and hit the wall so far down the track it would be impossible for even wall riding to gain speed at this point. And that's still a penalty, plus I spin out. There's three stupidness there. Three versions of stupidness. The first two involving it's a different part of the car hitting the wall there. That was pretty much just straight up the front of my car, not like the front side of it. That was just straight up my front bumper. And that was the point of even wall riding couldn't gain speed. Plus I spun out. Still a penalty, with even three things to make it be not a penalty. And it's still not even the worst one yet. This is this turn yet again, and now I spin out and don't even hit the outside wall. In the previous clip I showed, at the point in which I hit the wall, there was no way wall riding could gain speed, but any circumstance ever, wall riding the inside wall doesn't gain you speed, because physically that's impossible. You cannot wall ride an inside wall, because that would require you to slow down to the point of it's pointless to wall ride. And yet I hit the inside wall with, again, a different part of my car. This was on the other side of it because it was the other wall. And it's still a penalty. And it's the most stupidity so far, and this isn't even the worst run. Because that's far from the worst turn. This is the worst turn because this has all of the things. You lose a whole heck of a heap of speed here. You usually spin out here. And it's to the point of you really can't delete it either. That turn should never be a penalty whatsoever hitting it because there's physically no way to even wall ride that turn no matter what wall you're on. So there you have it, folks. That's the first insult to injury penalty compilation. All of these penalties involve me already losing speed to the point of there's no reason for a penalty because I was no way going to gain speed through there. And all of them got worse and worse in the stupidity of them giving a penalty there. And this is only for one track. Let that sink in for a moment, folks. This is only for one track. And I have multiple instances of all of these occurring. These are not one-time things. I just sewed it one time to spare all the misery that I went through doing this. And also, I was the fastest driver in America's reason for this particular event, and the penalty system still screwed me over. So I wish each and every one of y'all luck going into the actual FI events because, well, this is this one track and this is this one driver getting all of these penalties with no control that I had to avoid them. So good luck, folks, because the penalty system, well, you need a lot of luck and more skill than, well, I have. Take that as you may. But the penalties don't care what you take. They're going to be there no matter what. This ain't RPE, y'all, but if y'all still enjoyed this, I will do more insult to injury penalty compilations in the future, even though that shouldn't be a thing in the first place.